was in the matchday squad, but did not make it onto the pitch. And of course, we're talking about Cassius Mailula. 4 matches for Toronto FC and 0 minutes for Cassius Mailula. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of The Corner Flag. And you are here with your favorite host once again, Deshane. And as always, we are shooting all of our episodes from Islo Studios. So if you are in Pretoria, you definitely know where to be if you do need some studio time. And in today's episode, we will be looking at our players that play abroad, and we're doing our weekly roundup of those players, of course. And yeah, let's go ahead without any further ado. Let's start over in England. Our boy, of course, Lyle Foster, choosing a great time to make his comeback, of course. Burnley taking a 2-1 win over Brentford. A much needed win, very much needed win. But it was great to see him back on the pitch, of course. And with the win at Turf Moor, I think it was a great time for him to return. With the 2-1 victory, of course, we mentioned Jakob Brun-Larsen, scoring from the spot kick, of course. Didn't make a mistake to make it 1-0 to Burnley. And they did equalize, of course, and Muric had a fantastic game. Not really much he could have done about that header, of course. But yeah, it was 1-1, of course. But Fofana coming through for Burnley once again. And he's been a prolific, fantastic scorer for Burnley so far. So if Lyle Foster can match him and pump out those goals as well, I think it might give Burnley a chance. I mean, they're fighting a really, really tough relegation battle at this point. But at least if they can score, they'll have a chance. The one thing they'll have to fix is maybe the defense at this point, because yeah, we're still very, very surprised at how Vincent Kompany is struggling so much as a defender to fix the defense. But yeah, fantastic game from the boys as well. So yeah, up the Clarets, and we can't wait to see more. And Lyle Foster, of course, we can't wait to see him back on the pitch once again, and hopefully he gets back to his scoring ways. And yeah, that brings us to the end of our English chapter for this video. Let's go over to the US of A, where we'll be looking at our South Africans who are playing over in that trade. And starting off with St. Louis City, which is coached by, of course, by former Bafana Bafana player Bradley Carnell. And Jabulo Blom was missing out of the matchday squad for a second week in a row, possibly due to injury. I mean, they did play in the first game, so it's really hard to fathom that it would go from a starter to just not even being in the matchday squad at all. That's very, very odd. So it was a fantastic game from Bradley Carnell, of course, and St. Louis City, especially after winning in the previous season. And our next player we're going to be looking at, of course, is Oluwatu Makanya. Also didn't make it to the matchday squad for Philadelphia Union, primarily used as a player in the reserve team. Mixed feelings about the whole thing, if you ask me, because at this point he was playing tough life football as Stellenbosch, right? And now to trade that to being a reserve player in America, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, America is good. It is a slightly bit of a step up in terms of finances and all these things, but yeah, for his career, I don't know. I think maybe he should have just stayed this side, but maybe he just needs to bide his time. And the good news is he is 19 years old, so he does have age on his side. But yeah, I think we just would have liked to see him play more top flight football, especially considering the fact that the under 20 squad just got announced and he's not there, so that affects us negatively. And the next player, of course, we're going to be looking at, who's in a similar predicament, was in the matchday squad, but did not make it onto the pitch. And of course, we're talking about Cassius Mailula. 4 matches for Toronto FC and 0 minutes for Cassius Mailula. And it's a very concerning situation for our boy. Cash no deposit. Very talented, of course. We know his qualities, but it was always going to be really, really difficult for him to, earn a spot, especially with Bernadeschi and Insigne being the primary players that, Toronto are trying to play around. They're really trying to make it work with the Italians. And, if they're their primary players, it was really going to be hard for him to play. Good news for Cassius is he can play anywhere along the front three, but in that number 9 position, of course, it does look like it's going to be a battle between Prince Owusu as well as Akinola. And yeah, Richie Larea, of course, was not present in the matchday squad. And what's this player's name, man? Derek the Canadian boy. What's his name? Is it Derek? Why am I forgetting his name? I'm forgetting his name. But either way, yeah, he's injured right now. But he is a good number 9. Number 9 player for Toronto FC, even though we haven't seen him. Akinola, on the other hand, I haven't really seen much from him to say that I've been convinced. Mr. Sitter as well. So, yeah, they still need to figure out this whole number 9 position. Benedeschi, of course, putting in the miles and the hours for Toronto, even playing in a defensive position as a wing back. So it's great to see what they will do, but Cassius doesn't seem to be in the plan. So I think I just wish they would have at least loaned him out, or just given him to another team where he can get game time, and Toronto FC can of course open up an international roster spot for him in that position. So yeah, not really the best, but fingers crossed that he soon, one of these days, hopefully he will make an appearance. But yeah, looking at the picking order and how John Herdman has been making his substitutions, it doesn't seem like he's in the plans like that. So yeah, I'm kind of deflated, if you can tell, about this whole Cassius situation. I'm like, yeah, gives me anxiety to some degree. But yeah, let's hope the best for the boy. And our final player we're going to be looking at, of course, is Hlongwane, making his second appearance in the MLS, of course, for Minnesota United. Coming through with Reynoso, the main playmaker, the number 10. And yeah, it was great to see him back on the pitch, of course. Hlongwane is scoring in his second consecutive game and coming off of the bench again. And they do have a new coach. It's not Adrian Heath anymore. Adrian Heath, we do know he had a lot of confidence and faith in Hlongwane, so I don't really think that he would have made his start from off of the bench in this game as well. I think he definitely has to earn his spot back. It does seem that the new coach has been preferring Clark in that position, but with Wongi, banging in the goals and taking off from where he left off last season and proving how big of a play he is for Minnesota United, I do think he will earn his starting position back pretty soon. And yeah, just keep on pumping the boys. We're really, really proud of you. And in America, he's one of those who's flying the flag up high. So we're proud of our boy, of course. And yeah, it was great for him, scoring the winning goal for Minnesota United once again, especially in the way that he scored. Real poacher's goal in that case, poor pass from LAFC. And yeah, he just snatched onto the ball and made the best of that situation. So yeah, well done to our boy. And yeah, that does bring us to the end of our video for today. So if you have been here and this is your first time, thank you so much for coming. And please don't forget to subscribe, share, and like the video as well. And I will see you in the next episode of The Corner Flag.